Stephen Avery, hero of the Wisconsin Innocence Project, was now facing an uphill climb over a mountain of evidence connecting him to the murder of Teresa Hallback, and an unspeakably graphic description of the crime by his nephew, Brendan Dassey, had even the most skeptical observers thinking he may indeed be guilty this time.
The whole mood of Manitowoc County and the state of Wisconsin shifted. At that point, all but the most conspiracy-minded individuals among us were absolutely convinced that Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey were the perpetrators of the crime.
Avery needed money for lawyers, so he settled his multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Manitowoc County for $400,000 to hire two prominent attorneys. And as the trial began in February 2007, Dean Strang and Jerry Buting tried to drive home to jurors what they said was a very big problem: the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department's involvement in the investigation.
The Calumet Sheriff said, look, Manitowoc is only going to provide equipment. That's their only role here. Well, that turned out not to be the case.
Detectives from the very same department Avery had been suing were deeply involved with the discovery of crucial evidence against him, starting with Teresa Hallback's car key, which had not been noticed on 6 prior searches of Avery's home.
Andy Colburn and Jim Link were the two officers from Manitowoc County who found the key to Teresa's RAV4 in Mr. Avery's bedroom.
And not only were they volunteering to be the ones that searched, but as the case developed, Manitowoc County Sheriff supposedly discovered virtually every crucial piece of evidence in this case. And, to me, that stinks to high heaven.
There was another problem, said the defense, with the car key itself.
None of Teresa Hallback's DNA was found on the key, even though it was her key and it was used regularly.
Rightly or wrongly, the Sheriff's Department are on that property an awful long time. Search after search after search.
Remember that apparently critical bullet in the garage? Detectives had searched that garage several times, over 4 months, found nothing. But, said the defense, when those familiar faces from Manitowoc showed up,
suddenly they go back again and discover the magic bullet that wasn't there before. And who's present at the scene? Once again, Lieutenant Link from the Manitowoc Sheriff's Department.
As for the DNA testing of that bullet,
the analyst says that she found Teresa Hallback's profile on the bullet, but the test was contaminated because they had the analyst's own DNA in it.
In fact, no other physical traces of Teresa Hallback were found where Avery allegedly killed her. Not in his home, where her throat was supposedly slit, nor in the garage, where she is said to have been shot. For all the searching there, not a single drop of Teresa's blood was discovered.
It would be difficult to clean every trace of blood out of a garage in the situation. It's either she wasn't there, or the police didn't do a significant enough job, or they did a marvelous cleanup job.
I mean, you're talking about stabbing, you cast off blood all over the place, you slit someone's throat. It's a very bloody, disgusting type of way to kill somebody.
But here came the defense's most shocking allegation. Stephen Avery's blood, found inside of Teresa Hallback's car, could have been planted.
I started looking to see, well, was there any source of his blood that somebody could have found if they wanted to deliberately place it there?
In fact, there was a blood sample left over from Avery's 1985 rape case. For Beauty, this was a key moment of the case.
I could tell that the evidence tape had been slit, and lo and behold, there is a tube of blood that is still liquid, and there was a hole in the middle of the stopper. This evidence tape had been cut. By whom? When?
It had to be a frame-up, said the defense. But what about Brendan Dassey's lurid confession that both of them did all those terrible things to Teresa? The defense couldn't claim that law enforcement put the awful tale into Brendan Dassey's mouth. Or could they?
It's counterintuitive, but there is such a thing as a false confession.
In fact, said the defense, Brendan Dassey was just the kind of interrogation subject who might be pressured into telling law enforcement almost anything.
You know, this is a 16-year-old, low-functioning intelligence level, special ed classes against very trained, experienced police officers using techniques that studies have shown are very good at getting people to confess, but also getting people to falsely confess.